Hi, today we're going to talk about problem solving, everybody's favorite word problems. So this is your notes slash your assignment. So I'm going to do some of these like I have been doing, and then you guys will go to the assignment and work through the odd problems that were left. We're going to do all of number one as our notes. And when you're looking at the directions for number one, it just says convert the following statements into equations. So we're not going to be solving on number one. When you get to number three through the end, you will be solving once you're done. So I'm not going to take the time right now to actually solve the equation. We're just going to talk about how to set it up. When you're working through a problem solving example, you need to define your variable. So in example A, it says 5 added to a number is 9. So X is the number. I would try and find the word is or equal to so that you know where to put your equal sign in the equation. So 5 added to a number is means equals 9. And then you would solve that equation. Again, I'm not going to take the time in the notes to solve. In example B, we have 3 subtracted from a number. So you got to think about this. If you add 5 to a number, you could have also written that as x plus 5 equals 9, because it doesn't matter how you add numbers. You're always going to get the same result. But if you're subtracting from something, then that minus 3 has to go after your number. If you're subtracting 3 from a number, the number has to go first, and that equals 12. So if we're looking at example C, we have 5 times a number decreased by 2 is 4. So there's your equal sign. So 5 times a number would just be 5x. I don't want you to use the dot. I don't want you to use parentheses. I don't want you to use the times symbol that looks like an X. If you're multiplying a number times a letter, you just put them side by side. Decreased by 2 means you subtract 2, and that equals 4. And again, when you actually start this assignment, you will solve for the variable after you've set it up. Okay, let's look at the next one. On example D, again, here's your is, so there's your equal sign. So it equals 13, we know. We have 2 times the sum of a number x and 7. So sum is a key word here because that means we have to add x and 7 in parentheses before we multiply by the number 2. So you got to be real careful there. On E, we're going to add, because sum again means add, 2 consecutive integers, and it is 14. So what we're adding is going to equal 14. 2 consecutive integers mean they're 2 numbers in a row. We don't know either one of those numbers. So it could be like 10 and 11, or 12 and 13. Those are some examples. Since we don't know them, we're going to let x equal our first number, and we're going to let x plus 1 equal our second number. I know that you guys can probably think in your head of 2 numbers that add to give you 14 that are in a row. But again, we're working for the harder problems that we're going to eventually have. So I need to take the first number, which is x, and add it to the second number, which is x plus 1, and that equals 14. I don't have to write the parentheses, but the parentheses allow me to see the 2 separate numbers that are being added as described in the problem. On example F, we want the product of 3 consecutive odd numbers. So 3 consecutive odd numbers might be 1, 3, and 5 as an example. So again, you know that this has to equal 85, but you don't know the 3 consecutive odd numbers. But we do know to get from 1 to 3, you have to add 2. To get from 3 to 5, you have to add 2. So we're going to let x again equal our first number. And if we add 2 to that, that means x plus 2 would be our second number. Now, we have to find a way to get from our first number to our third number. Well, to get from 1 to 5, you would add 4. So if we take x plus 4, that's going to be our third number. So I have to add all, no, it's actually the product of those this time, and product means multiply. So we're going to take x times x plus 2 times x plus 4, and that equals 85. I'm going to set up number 5 and number 11 for you, and then you guys can solve those as part of your assignment. So on number 5, it says 4/5 of a number is. So again, look for that equal sign. So we know our equal sign goes right here. Well, we know that of in math means times. So we're going to do 4/5 times a number. We don't know that number, so we're going to call that x. Is means equal, more than 3/4 of a number by 5. So more than something by 5 means we're going to add 5 to it. What are we adding 5 to? 3/4 of a number means times x. And then you would solve that. The last one I want to set up for you is number 11. On number 11, it says the denominator of a fraction is greater than the numerator by 8. So if we set up this fraction, the denominator of a fraction is greater than the numerator by 8. So if we let our numerator be x, then our denominator has to be x plus 8. If the numerator is increased by 17 and the denominator is decreased by 1, the number obtained is 3/2. So then you can simplify that to be x plus 17 over x plus 7 equals 3/2, and then you guys can solve this. I would recommend cross multiplying and solving, but we haven't reviewed that yet, so I'm going to let you guys see if you can figure it out. Go ahead and finish the odd numbered problems that are not crossed out on your homework sheet. Email me if you have questions.